In a recent report, 8 Dutch multinational companies make policy recommendations so as to establish a circular economy for plastics. These large, incumbent companies make clear that traditional market capitalism alone cannot bring about a circular economy for plastics, which I name here the plastics challenge. We still face the problem of plastic leakage into the environment, let alone realizing low carbon production of plastics. These problems can be tackled by the circular economy. However, the transition towards it is slowing down. What should we do? I'm Roland Mees. I'm a Director of Sustainable Finance at ING. In this video, I will focus on 2 questions. Which perspective can philosophy offer such that we endorse a circular economy for plastics as good? And, at the same time, what can philosophy tell us about our motivations to make it happen? First, economic theory assumes that markets function optimally when actors are motivated by self-interest without recourse to ethical motivation. People might unreflectively adhere to theories that argue that it is not in their self-interest to act sustainably. The famous Homo economicus model explicitly discourages acting out of altruism or being motivated to take up the plastics challenge. Even cooperative action, such as solving the plastic soup as a commonly shared good, falls outside what economic theory defines as rational action. For persons adhering to classic economic theory, it will be difficult to resist free rider strategies. They consider it rational to leave the plastics challenge to future generations and continue with their polluting behavior. In response, environmental ethics argues that natural objects and systems have intrinsic value independent of their possible use for human beings. The intrinsically valuable is that which is good as an end in itself. A policy approach to sustainability needs to consider the environment and natural things, not only in instrumental but also in intrinsic terms to do justice to the moral standing of nature. It is commonly agreed that something's possession of intrinsic value generates a direct moral duty on us to protect it, or at least refrain from damaging it. Theories about the intrinsic value of nature particularly aim to demonstrate the deficiencies of a view that is only focused on a short-term instrumental use of nature. Therefore, environmental ethics justifies taking action to meet the plastics challenge. Cleaning the plastic soup is good and we ought to do it now. However, and here I will start addressing the second question, the fact that we have found a normative theory which justifies taking action so as to meet the plastics challenge does not mean that people act accordingly. In general, the debate about whether a norm is capable of motivating someone to act in conformity with it is as old as practical philosophy itself. Ethics alone cannot prevent free rider behavior. Free riders are not moved by the reasons that justify norms. The problem of motivation can be solved only as part of a moral culture that encompasses ethical theory, moral education by parents and teachers, free press, laws and an independent judicial system. For the question how we can motivate people to take up the plastics challenge, we need to understand people's motives from their own point of view. We try to find out what it is like for people to take action on the plastics challenge. People have perhaps rather weak motives to do so. They are being confronted with contingencies in life that may affect the possibilities they perceive for carrying out their plan. Choosing people's first-person perspective as the object of study renders such method phenomenological, Phenomenology studies people's experience that includes cognitive, emotional and volitional aspects. We do not consider these elements separately. The goal of phenomenology is to find structures of people's experience that are not necessarily impersonal, but that anyone can understand from their first-person standpoint. In the next video, I will elaborate some findings from applying the phenomenological research method to the motivational problems that people face when they take up the plastics challenge.